This right here is a computer running Minecraft in Minecraft, an insane build made using redstone, which is very similar to an electrical wire. Redstone was added to Minecraft 14 years ago to create challenge maps players can try to beat. Yet, less than 2 months after Redstone was released, players are already trying to push it to its limits. What if players didn't have to push it to its limits to create insane builds? How would Redstone look if such builds were its intended use from the beginning? This is the first devlog of my journey to rebuild Redstone from the ground up, focused on I spent the last 7 days going through every insane redstone build I could find and concluded that the issues creators face are mainly 3. No matter how Redstone 2.0 turns out, it should not have those issues. In this devlog we will brainstorm a solution for the first one. Let's look at the computer running Minecraft in Minecraft. What are the most obvious issues here? I first noticed that the video was sped up 2 million times. This means the build is extremely slow and not usable. How many other builds that work but are too slow are out there? If we look at the creator's attempt to solve this, we may get an idea of what to change to Redstone when rebuilding it from the ground up. In the description there is a link to a GitHub page called Minecraft High Performance Redstone Server. It states that each 256 by 256 plot runs on a separate thread. This will make it faster, but what else? A Redstone compiler is mentioned. In programming, we also have compilers. When we write a program with C++, for example, we use English with special symbols. Those are instructions to the computer on what we want it to do when we run the program. But the computer has no idea what the program means, and a compiler with some magic translates it to ones and zeros, which the computer can now understand. Not only that, but it does optimizations to the code to run faster. They achieve this by not changing the meaning of what we wrote, but the way it is written. How would this speed up a Redstone build? Let's look at what does the Redstone compiler do. The Redstone compiler transforms the Redstone build into a directed weighted graph. Here is an example of a graph like that. It's directed because the connections between the nodes have a direction, and it's weighted because the connections have some kind of number to them, a value. If I understand correctly, what the player is interacting with is a graph that is heavily optimized. What they've done is amazing and something I will never be able to think of, but still, the issue remains, the build is too slow. This means I have to give up optimizing and tackle the problem in another way. Let's use simple words to describe the problem and a possible solution will come up on its own. A redstone build is just blocks that are connected. The difference between a regular build that isn't slow and an insane build that is most likely very slow is the amount of blocks. What if the number of blocks didn't increase? I remember seeing a showcase of a build, how it can be separated into individual big components. What if each component was one block and the whole build is a few hundred blocks at most? This YouTuber even demonstrates exactly what I'm trying to say. He sees each component as a symbol. Not only that, for some components that he doesn't know how they work, just focuses on how to use them. This would be natural mindset of any player when it's just one block. Nobody has thought of how a repeater is made, just how to use it. And there's another benefit. This YouTuber created a Rubik's Cube in Minecraft and had a huge build with it. But as it turns out, there is a problem with the speed. It's too slow and the build has to be made over again with big changes. And having a build like that is extreme pain to have to remake it. And by abstracting away big components into single blocks, it will be a lot easier to make big changes. Now, would this make the builds actually faster? When we use a block that has many blocks in it, how would it be interpreted? If it just represents a couple of blocks, then in terms of execution, it will add an extra step to what current builds are already doing. Something more is needed here, but I think we're in the right direction and did enough for today.